So where were you when you first came in? Like why are you on this podcast?
To share about my journey so I can help others.
Perfect.
Because I was at rock bottom in October.
You don't have to live with pain or chronic neuro issues any longer. In this podcast, you will learn how to stabilize your brain, body, and biochemistry for the rest of your life. I'm Dr. Teams, and this is the Neuro Reset Podcast. Okay. Well, that's a great intro. So, hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Neuro Reset Podcast. I'm Dr. Teams. We, of course, have a special guest with us. From rock bottom to here, right? A lot of growth has happened. Everybody meet Amber. So what does rock bottom feel like for you?
I feel like felt like death,
Yeah.
honestly.
Like, what does that feel like?
Couldn't get out of bed. It was just...
But you did anyway, right? So it was like walking
I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then my mom had met someone at church who saw you, and so she referred us, and then I started coming here, and it's done wonders.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, so that's the end of the episode. No, I'm kidding.
Sounds good.
So no, let's go back because you have a pretty interesting journey through all of this, right? Now you can share as much or as little as you'd like.
Okay.
There's every one of us has some form of trauma, right? Which we don't even have to go into, but it was there from early on.
Yeah.
Right. And oftentimes those trauma situations wire the nervous system and create overactivity in one part of the system, like the amygdala, the fear center. And then that kind of just presses the gas a little harder than it should throughout somebody's life. The next thing that happens presses the gas a little harder. The next thing that happens presses the gas a little harder. The next thing we know, you're in college as the captain of a soccer team, just like medicated for ADHD to the point where it's like hard to function.
Yeah.
Pick up from there. Like, so what was life like there?
Oh, hard. I feel like that was just my normal. Like I felt like that was
normal.
I didn't know any different. And so I feel like the past 2 years have been hard, to say the least. And I feel like as much support as I've gotten from friends and family, I feel like they don't really know the extent of how it feels.
Well, because they can't feel what you're feeling, right?
Right.
And they'd have their own issues.
Totally.
Right? Everybody has their own stuff.
Totally.
Like I have stuff that I deal with, but I have to put a mask on when I'm at the office to make sure that I'm here to help you guys and that you guys don't have to deal with my issues, right?
Right.
So it's like everybody does that. And it's just, you can only do it so long before the system can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's
before
where
you
were, right?
literally collapse. Because I'm also a teacher. And so in college, when I was captain, I feel like I'm constantly giving and pouring and pouring. And then especially with teaching, I'm constantly pouring into tiny humans. And I'm drained and I don't even feel great.
Yeah.
And the past 2 years have been super hard of just a lot of different health issues that I was finding out about or didn't know about. And then it was just doctor after doctor after doctor, no answers, no answers, no answers. And it was just oh my goodness, somebody help me. And it was just a lot of you have anxiety. And I'm well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But what can we do about it? And so then once I started coming here, I was oh my gosh, what a life change. It's been such a blessing.
That's awesome. So what kinds of things, you're doing this so you can try to help some other people, right? And we hear very similar things from patient to patient. I went to this doctor, I got put on meds. I went to another doctor, they put me on different meds. They changed meds. They just kept changing meds because that was really their only option. Did you go through that too? So where were you? What were you dealing with when you first came in for us, right? Because obviously the meds maybe helped but didn't help, or they kept you as good as you were. You're normal at the time.
Yeah.
So what did all that look like? We're going to expand a little bit because there's a lot of people your age going through this very similar stuff that are dealing with similar things, and just to have another opportunity to help or another avenue for hope is really all they're looking for too. Because you gave me permission to do a case study on you when I presented over at Amen Clinic, and going through all of your notes from the beginning and putting the whole thing together, I was oh my goodness, it really is pretty crazy to see where you're at now compared to where you were when we first met.
Totally.
So list off your symptoms for me.
Okay.
Of where you were when we first met, if you can if you
Yeah.
remember?
I mean, a lot of it was just like fainty, nauseous. I mean, my whole body, it was like an out of body experience.
Mhm.
A lot of nausea and dizziness and lightheaded, a few passing out episodes. But I was on 4 different medications and I'm almost off all of them. I have one left. So sparkles to that.
So as we're going through this whole process, right? So she's working with somebody else who's also been on the podcast, Dr. Tate. We referred you over there right after that, right? Right after we met. And Dr. Tate has been helping you stabilize some of your physiology so that it's easier to get off meds, right?
Yeah.
And, I can't take people off meds, so I have to work with people who can. And, Tate's been through the program. She knows what it's like. So that's why she sends her cases over here.
Right.
So that we can really team up and do this in a way that it's like having 2 degrees working on,
Yeah.
but it's in one body almost because we work so closely together. And so originally we had tried to take you off that med, this last one. Which one is it?
The sertraline.
Okay. And so we were originally trying to take you off and it didn't go well.
A little too fast.
And so, which is fine because
Yeah.
you ended up getting back on it and it was much better. And so then we were like, hey, over the summer might be a better time. And
Yeah.
and so we worked with that and, whatever you were up to and whatever she was able to do, we've done. And so what does getting off these meds do for you?
It's really difficult because the withdrawals are real. I mean, when I first tried getting out the one in January, I've been on it for 10 years. And so I think I was just so excited to get off of it that I was like, bam,
Yeah.
I'm off a few weeks. And then I made me just drop even more after I've made 2 months of growth. And then I just went down and I'm like,
Because in a week, you're almost like, oh, I'm back to where I start, right? And so we're like, okay. So, and this is for also other practitioners and people going to other practitioners. If this is part of your goal, right, you got to have a plan because her physiology was dictated based off the chemistry that was being supported in the system and all the physiology that was occurring as a result of everything that had happened those first 25 years, right? So as we're starting to make changes, I feel so much better on meds. Right. And then every time you tweak something, you're treating a new brain. So that's why we would often change stuff up anytime you would make changes for your system, for your chemical system, we'd have to change it up neurologically.
Yeah.
Right. And so because different meds activate different parts of the system, right? Where say the dopamine centers are going to be a little more maybe vertical type of workouts that we'll do or upper brain stem. Serotonin is going to be more lower brainstem. And so these things matter when we do our exercises and we do our treatment to try to support your system, right? Okay, so going back, so we go through college, captaining on all the meds, then we come here. And, talking about growth, what was one of the first things that we talked about? There's a bunch of different components when you go through working with anybody with POTS, right? So just so you guys know, she was dealing with POTS. She was diagnosed. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a couple of years at least, right? Since being diagnosed, and you were not getting any better. When we look at the system, we're looking at the visual system, the vestibular system, the autonomic system, the cognitive system, the orthopedic system, and then other pain syndrome type stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you had some of that with the chest pain. Chest pain is very commonly, a cardiac related issue.
Yeah.
Technically, you have a cardiac problem being POTS because it involves a heart rate and blood pressure, but everything checked out okay, right? So it's not that. The one underlying component amongst everything that you're describing is that neurological system, the nervous system. Yeah. Right? So as you come in here, you're like, I'll just see what this guy says. How did all that go? I know how it went. Yeah. But what was that like for you?
I think my first initial visit, I obviously brought my parents because, they have been my rock throughout this whole thing. And I also am very much I will not share with anybody until I feel comfortable. And so when I first came in, I was like, I had my hesitance of just because with what I've gone through, I've seen how many doctors and I'm just
many?
Okay.
Can you guess how many you've been to?
Oh gosh.
Her sister's over here manning the camera, by the
Yes.
way. So we have a few.
My-
That's why we keep looking off the
Gosh,
camera.
I don't even know. I feel at least 10. Because I was in Nebraska and then I moved back here in 2021. And then I was in a very unhealthy relationship. And I feel like that's what stemmed everything. And I saw, because I had H. pylori, and then I saw so many doctors, like for my heart, for anxiety, for depression, for everything, it feels like. So when I came here, I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if somebody's going to be able to help me, because I've just had the constant answer of like, it's just anxiety. You're good. Just be on meds. And I'm like, that's not really what my long-term goal. I don't want to be on meds for my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to just have it be a Band-Aid. Like, meds is fine for just a period of time.
Yeah.
But then it was like a moment when we were talking about like my history, and you're like, I got you. And I'm like, do you? I'm like, are you going to help me? And you're just like, if you can trust me and like just put all you're in, like, or how do I word that? Put everything you got into this, then like you'll get better. And that was October. And you're like, come March, you're going to be a whole different person. And I'm like, okay, I'll trust you on this. And when I left, my parents can read me like a book, and they know my vibe if I'm like with it or if I'm not with it. And because there's been doctors where my parents are like, first 10 seconds, we knew you were checked out, like you were done. And so when we got in the car, they were like, we think you're going to stick this out. And I'm like, I think so. And then I just kept like, keep coming back, or, oh my gosh, I'm like stumbling on my words.
Yeah. So, so basically I had to not lose you on that first day.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I got through that part, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got me.
So then, the process, it was such a, I talk like almost like you're not here. It was such a fun case to work through, because there was so much of the mental health piece, and like the loss of hope. Yeah. Like those cases for us, working with people who have been through the ringer, who have not gotten the help, who have tried all the things, but are so very clearly capable of healing. It's just, you can tell. Yeah. Like when the whole family sits down with you and, like mom's crying, dad might not be a crier, but he might have like teared up,
Dad's a crier.
And it's like,
he held it in.
Like when the whole family is here and they're like, what can you do for my daughter? Yeah. Like puts a little pressure on us too. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like the important thing was like talking to you, because mom wanted to try to tell me everything. I'm like, listen, mom, you're not the patient. So like, and that's where I started to understand like what was at play. And so looking through the whole thing, looking at every component of what was going into your case, like what was one of the first things that we did? Tried to establish a little bit of that independence, right? Yes. And so we talked about it. We might not have done it, but understanding how you process stuff, like getting to know you a little bit better. Yeah. It's like, hey, like, what are your thoughts on this? And you're like, I was like, okay, well, maybe try that again next week. Yeah.
I'm up for a challenge, just not yet.
Right. There's one more that I'm going to check on at the end of this.
Oh gosh.
And so when did you start feeling changes? What was different about what we did? We can talk about Tate. Tate did all the chemistry stuff, right? But what did we do that was different?
I think the consistency, because I would come once a week. There was a few times where I came twice a week when I just had those moments throughout the week. But I feel like the consistency of coming every Tuesday this has been since October, has just like helped retrain my mind and retrain my body. And just like also, I feel like our chats have definitely helped, because I'm a very much like, I thrive on one-on-one. Yeah. And just hearing a neutral perspective, because like obviously I have my siblings and my parents and a counselor and friends, but it's different when you talk to somebody who's like outside of your everyday life and who's just neutral.
Yeah, that, and it's like we're literally being paid to make sure that you get better, so we got to find a way to make that happen. And so but I'd say we were fairly successful. Like each thing that we tried seemed to work pretty well. And I think one of the main reasons it worked well, because you were in, So let's go back to that first appointment. because a lot of people have been through the ringer just like you.
Mm-hmm.
What was different about that first appointment that you bought into? What was it about that appointment that you bought into?
I think the people. I'm very drawn to people. And so I feel like everyone that works here, like, I don't know, you guys are my people. So I feel like that's definitely a big one for me. Because like obviously the work that you're going to put in and the exercises that I do all help, but I feel like the environment and atmosphere here is a big game changer.
Super cool. Right on. So it's like a healing place for healing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because it's also like, it's like my own personal journey, but it's like my people here are here to support it.
Yeah.
Like this is always, I mean, she knows my favorite part of the week. Like it'd be like, oh, it's Tuesday. Like it's Tuesday. It's a great day.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Thursday, I have to wait 5 more days or 6 more days, whatever the math is.
So I need to open up on the weekend?
Yes. Just for me. But like it's, my whole family knows that like if it's a Teens Day, it's the best day of the week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's just I'm very people oriented, and so I like thrive around people that I can connect with.
Yeah, but it is also very important to make sure that you're happy, right?
Yes.
Like take care of yourself too, right? Yes. Which we've gone over that a couple times in the last 7-8 months.
I feel like that's been a big growth for me because I feel like, I mean, she can attest, being the baby of 4, I'm very much like a people pleaser and very codependent, and just I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be 27 this year, and I feel like this is the first year where I've like put myself first and I've created boundaries that I've never created before.
Yeah. And sometimes it can be very difficult,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a lot of times the anxiety that you have creates like worst case scenario with that conversation.
Yes.
and it never goes the way you thought it would, right? And it's usually better. They say, there's some sayings out there that are, if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're probably right.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the energy world, like the 4th dimension kind of thing, it's like the world of energy. If you think about it, you create it, right?
Yeah.
And so, we spent a lot of time like visualizing, a lot of time trying to create what we wanted before we ever stepped out into the world. The way I look at a lot of what people go through is this place is like a bubble.
Yeah.
And it's like the safe place from everything that's happening outside the world, outside of the office, right? And so if we can do a good enough job to create that in your own mind of what that's going to look like before you exit, and it's like we replay it and we're like, there's more. I mean, we replayed things multiple times in terms of just visualization of what we're hoping to happen and what we want to happen. And then when the opportunity presented itself, you were like, psh, brother-in-law, I can take your crap no more, right? And which was great, right? But it sounds like it created space for you to heal.
Yeah.
Right, just enough, and you made just enough of these little components and boundaries for yourself that allowed you to heal, and here you are now.
Yeah. Well, even my parents, I feel like in the last 6 months have just been like, oh my gosh, like we're so proud of your growth. Like my sister too. But like I feel like a lot of people around me have been like, oh my gosh, like knowing you 2 years ago when everything was like shit hit the fan 2 years ago to now, it's like, whoa, I can breathe. And honestly, it's been such a blessing to work through all this, like before I'm getting married, before I'm having kids, and before getting into a relationship. Like it's nice to like kind of like feel whole again.
Yeah.
And just like work on myself. So embracing the uncomfortable.
That's right. That was our mantra for basically from the beginning. I just used that with somebody else.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm getting it tatted.
Are you really? Oh my goodness. That's pretty cool. That is really
It's my
cool.
reminder.
That's super cool.
Because I'm like, I don't strive in the unknown, or I'm not a very patient person. And I feel like this whole process has made me.
It certainly tests you.
Oh yeah, it's tested me.
Yeah. But when you do it over and over again, it just builds a good muscle. Right.
I mean, I basically just I would just reiterate what she has said, but just validating it as like someone who's known her whole life and like known
And loved her.
and lived with, yes, in our adult lives. But yeah, even like just in the last like few months, she's grown a lot as an independent person, as like her mental health has grown a lot more. It's really, stop it. It's just really cool to see. So,
Well, can you give me like maybe a brief explanation of where, like kind of a short one of where she came from? Like when she was first in here in like November, what kind of shape was she in your mind?
rough. Oh, yeah, it was rough. Just seeing your little sister like struggle physically, mentally, just like not knowing how to help her, because like we've all struggled with things, you know, like I struggled with depression for a little bit, like just not to the extent that she had to deal with. And so it was a tough time. Like she just didn't know what was wrong with her. We didn't know what was wrong with her. So how are you supposed to help when you don't have the answers, you know? So
how's she doing now?
so much better. Happy tears now. Yeah, it's awesome to see now, because she is just so confident in who she is now and like where she's at in life and how much work she has put into herself, like for herself. It's really cool to see. So
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I won't make you cry any longer. You can head back to the camera. Thank you for sharing. So, what do you think parents would say?
I think they would just cry. Because, I mean, I think they know it's evident. I mean, everyone knows being the youngest of four, like, I don't know, they just do whatever for me because I'm the baby. You know, like that's how it's always been. But even last night, I'm tooting my own horn. I'm so quick to like call my dad to come do anything for me because I know he will. But something had happened in my laundry room, like the dryer had broke, and I'm like, I need to be a big girl and put my big girl pants on and do it. But I know I can call dad or I can call her boyfriend and they'll just come do it for me because that's growing up. That's how it was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, nope, I need to prove to all of them that I'm capable and I can do it. And so I did. I went to Home Depot, got the part, and I did it myself.
Nice.
And so it was just like something so little when you like hear about it. But like for me, that's big. It's huge.
Yeah.
Because that's
cool.
I feel like I'm very used to just being like, yeah, do whatever for me. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, and then, you know, to that extent, it becomes a habit,
mm-hmm.
right? And then, so you lose or don't develop the skill set of the independence.
Right.
And, you know, some cases it can become enabling. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, just call me if you have an issue. Mm-hmm. Okay. So like, then you never had to figure out anything for yourself.
Right.
Well, then what? Mm-hmm. Right. And then, like you said, you get into a relationship and then you become dependent on that person for your happiness and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And it's not always the greatest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, you know, embrace the uncomfortable and see where we can go. Mm-hmm. So by March, were you a different person?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Like, I mean, I feel like I had even made strides January, not where I wanted to be, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's only been like 2.5 months and I like have already grown. And then it just like kept going. And I mean, mind you, there's like bumps in the road as
not everybody has a good day. But I don't have a good day every day.
But no, like even, I mean, it's July. And I'm like, it's going to be a year in just like a few months, which is crazy. Yeah. So.
Right on. Well, what I'll try to do for this podcast is take the, because we've done some like reassessments where that very first test, you were like super potsy.
Yeah, very.
And so here in the office, we'll do it's called a tilt table test. So if you're not familiar with it, I'll just talk to you like you're the audience. So usually what they'll do is they'll take a big table and they'll have straps on it and they'll strap you down, hook you up to EKG, blood pressure, pulse oximeters and all your limbs and stuff like that. And then they'll leave you on that table for like 10 minutes and then they put you up at 70 degrees for 10 minutes. Sometimes even longer, up to 45 minutes. And you're dangling, you're like strapped to the table so your feet are not like on a plate. There's no plate. You're not actually standing. So you're not activating your legs. So your leg muscles are weak or not contracted. Part of that blood flow back up to the head is activated by the leg muscles. And so you get this pooling in your legs. And so most people, when they do that test, they pass out. They either black out, pass out, or have like seizures or crazy stuff because you stop getting blood flow to your head.
Right.
when that happens, as your blood flow drops down to your legs, your pressure drops. As your pressure drops, your heart rate has to go up. And so that's what creates that postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, right? So the tachycardia meaning heart rate, orthostatic meaning the blood pressure, or stance-based, like position-based. And so when she presented, the average heart rate was like 38 beats, 36 or 38 beats difference between laying down and standing.
Yeah.
And that was an average, right? And there was a spike that was much higher. It was probably like 40 to 45, maybe 50 beats. It was significant.
Yeah.
So like physiologically, you were like really screwed up when you came in. And which was crazy to think that you were on all these meds and you were presenting the way you were presenting, but you were still going to work every day. You were still trying to play soccer to like keep your social world, like, maybe not to not let your team down kind of thing, like that's what captain does is they just suck it up. And just to know like how much you were struggling, just seeing those test results, those were tough for me to see. I was like, holy crap. And then we retested in December.
Yeah.
And I believe in December you were technically not POTS anymore. And then the last one we did was like hardly any spike to it.
Yeah.
And so, in all honesty, one of the coolest things for me throughout, well, there's been a lot of cool points in your case, but it was when you're like, I'm thinking I'm going to do this Pilates thing, right? Because she had to give up soccer, right? She was coming home and going to sleep every day. And it just gave up going to soccer, gave up like working out for a little bit.
Which is big. If I give up soccer, you know something.
Right.
So,
and then, okay, so there's two that I'm going to talk about. The first one was you're like, oh, this is like my 30th day of Pilates, like however many times that you went in 30 days. So like, that's awesome. She's like, I'm feeling great. Super cool. And then it was like, maybe in the last month or two, did you have to fill in for a pickup game? Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh.
That was a fun one for me.
That was, yeah. So I stopped playing in October and stopped going to like my workout class. And then I took over Pilates because I'm like, I have to do something like with my busy self. Like I need something. And Pilates was just the right thing for me at the time. And I still do it. But it was like 3 weeks ago, one of my friends that I was really close with growing up, she had texted me to go play soccer. And I was like, oh, I haven't played in like 7 months. Like October was the last time I played. There's no way my cardio, there's no way I can play. But I was like, I missed that interaction. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. And you're supposed to be like part-time.
A light
It was,
sub.
yeah, like
Yes.
a light
And
sub.
so I was like, well, I haven't played in 7 months. Can I just be a light sub? And she's like, light sub, perfect. And I'm like, awesome. And so I show up and I'm being the light sub on the sidelines. Not even 10 minutes into the game, she rolls her ankle. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, you're going to have to play the rest of the game. And I'm like, cool. Sounds good. And like, I'm dying inside of like, there's no way. And it was a double header. So I knew in my head.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, I thought I did. So I'm like going.
That's a double header.
Yeah.
Boy.
So I'm going in and I'm like, my nervous Nelly, anxious self. I'm like, okay, like, and the people pleaser in me where I'm like, I don't know any of these people I'm playing with besides the girl that just got hurt. And so I'm like, okay, nobody hate me, but I haven't played since October. And so I just like go out there and play. And I'm like, okay, like I'm back. I'm here. And prior to starting here, I mean, like I said, that was like my normal. I didn't know any different. Where now I'm like, wait, I can breathe. I can make a sprint and I can not have my heart rate spike or feel like I'm going to pass out. This is crazy. And so that night I ended up playing for 2 hours, no sub, no water break, and just played. And I was like, wait, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So that was super cool to like have that, because I definitely have missed soccer, and I feel like soccer's been my identity forever.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of like mixed feelings that day of like, there's no way I can go play a double header. But I was like, light sub. And when I get there and I'm like, joke's on you, not a light sub.
Didn't you get like invited to play with another team after that?
I did.
Wasn't it the guys' team?
Yes. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, so that was super cool. But honestly, I feel like a lot of that came from doing the EWOT.
Yeah.
That was, I feel like, has been a game changer for me, because I mean, I played soccer my whole life and I just thought that was my norm, to be out of breath and fainty every sprint I do. And now I'm like, I can hold my own without feeling like I'm going to collapse or feeling like my body's going to collapse.
Yeah.
So,
Well, super cool. So, you know, a lot of people ask, like, is this going to be permanent once we do this program? How would you answer that?
is what going to be permanent?
Like the results they get from the program,
Oh,
like doing what
I mean,
we're
I
doing
think
here.
so.
Yeah.
I think I'll have like my hiccups, but I mean, y'all aren't getting rid of me. I'll be back. I'm like, I'll just show up some days. I think,
Let me ask that differently. So if we were to go through this whole program and you just stopped doing everything that we developed and kind of went back to your old ways.
oh gosh, no, I need to continue doing like what we were doing.
Yeah. And a lot of people say that. They're like, I just want to get back to who I was.
Mm.
And my question is, are you sure? Right? Because a lot of the times there's like these patterns and this behavior and habits that put people in a place to not be in a place to heal. Right. And like you are in a great family, but like you said, maybe I shouldn't call dad and I'll do this on my own. Right. And it's like developing these little strategies so that you don't fall back into the old ways. So just, we get that question a lot, you know, is this going to be permanent? I'm like, well, it can be, is my answer.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you are going through a weight loss program, like at the gym, and you hit the gym however many days in a 3-month period, and then you stop, what do you think is going to happen?
Right.
Right. The nervous system is very much like that. You need to train it consistently. Right. Like you said, consistency. Every week we did something, but we almost always did something different while you were here.
Yeah.
As once we get to a point where you're like, I'm good, then it's like we just kind of get into more of a maintenance phase, right? But we've been kind of pushing, changing stuff up, and kind of the whole way through. Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's in here or outside of here, you know, we've got to do that. Just like you're going to challenge your kiddos at school, right? That's how we create new neurological connections, right? If it's the same thing, boring every day,
Right.
then nobody's going to want to do it.
I'm like,
It's
I'm the science
exciting.
teacher. What are you talking about?
Right. Never boring. Never boring. So, yeah, so let's hit that list. Make sure we cover all the things that you wanted to touch base
I'm
on.
like, you know, I'm a visual person. I think that's another thing too, like the book that you gave me. And then I've like obviously kept all of our notes from our chats because I'm very much like a visual person. So I need to see it. So I think I'll constantly like look at my notes of reminders and when I get my tat to embrace
That's
the
so
control.
cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Okay, let's see. I think I've covered mostly everything. Yeah,
There's the perfectionist coming out, by the way.
I know, like what
okay.
perfectionist.
That's okay.
I'm like, I've gotten better with it.
So, well, you know, I'm sure we could talk for hours about this stuff, right? We'll bring your folks in next time and see what they say. But you know, like as we're signing off here, what are maybe some final things that you would want to share with someone who is going through what you were going through? What would you tell them to do, the steps to take?
I'd say just accept the challenge and embrace the uncomfortable. Like my motto is, I think fear of the unknown is also very hard because I'm a very impatient person and I want results right away.
Yeah.
And so I think going into this process, I had to like make it clear to myself that I wasn't going to get results in a month. Like it was going to be a little bit, and it's definitely worth it. And it has paid off. I mean, it's July and that was October. And so to just tackle each day and like be okay with bumps. And I think for me too, not setting a lot of expectations, because like I always remind myself when I was getting my master's, I mean, that was super difficult. And I was like, okay, when my master's is done, everything's going to be great. Like everything's going to be great when my master's is done. And then when my master's was done, I'm like, wait, everything's not great like I expected. And so I think when I was going into this process where I'm like, there's still going to be challenges and accomplishments and like all the emotions. So just giving yourself grace.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody is dealing with POTS, would you recommend they reach out to us?
Oh, 100%.
Cool.
I'm like, yes. I honestly don't know how many times I talk about y'all to everybody. Like someone will tell me something, I'm like, oh, do you know Dr. Teams in Phoenix? I'm like, first name basis. Oh, you can have the number.
Oh, that's too funny.
I'm like, I tell everyone in my life knows about you guys because y'all are my people. Jess has even said y'all aren't getting rid of me. So I'm like, I'll be here for life.
Perfect. Love it. Well, if we've hit everything on your list,
Yeah.
and you've shared all your words of wisdom, then I'm going to wrap this up.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. You're such a natural leader,
Thank you.
right? You got to show the kiddos
Words of affirmation.
what they do, right? And thank you for the cameo. Very much appreciated. Sorry to get the tears going, but, I know I know how close you guys are as a family, and I know how impactful, like, her feeling well and like hitting her like potential, is for you guys. So
It's been a ride.
I appreciate you guys giving us a shot and trusting the process. And
Very grateful.
I still can't. I'm still excited to see how far you can take this. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for joining us, and nice to meet you. And thanks everybody for sitting in for another episode of the Neuro Reset Podcast. I'm Dr. Teams signing off. We'll see you next time.
See ya. Thank you.